Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The dice and decks I'm using are listed below. Other than that, if you would like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and let's get into your selection. Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aquarius? King of Fire pops right out in the middle here. What's that leading to? Okay. It looks good so far. Is there really any rough cards here? Maybe not. You got the Two of Swords here, which isn't really a bad card. It can be a pause. But sometimes those pauses can lead to success. So let's see where we're going. You're moving forward. You're moving forward. That's interesting. I'm going to start with this. You were definitely moving forward. Now, the Eight of Cups is usually walking away from something good to walk towards something better. It doesn't have to mean you're leaving something behind, though. It might be the way of doing something you're leaving behind. You're Aquarius, so it depends on what you're dealing with here. So, like, for example, if this is a work situation, this might be like, I used to leave this up to other people, but I'm not going to do that anymore. Or it could be vice versa. I used to do this for other people, but I'm not going to do that anymore. You might be technically in the same situation, in the same position, doing the same job, but the way you're handling it might be this. Whatever it is, it could be, again, it could be the way you're handling something. Not so much as like, I'm walking away from this house and moving into this new one, or walking away from this job and going into another. It doesn't have to be like that. Or even a friendship. I'm walking away from this friendship and going into a different one. It may be more like the way I used to handle it. I'm walking away from the way I used to handle it, and I'm going to end up being more active in a different way. Either you're going to be more involved in the situation and kind of taking the reins, or you're going to take your attention away from it and you're going to put your attention somewhere else. The reason I get that you're doing this is because I feel like however you've been handling it, it just, when I'm looking back, I'm just like, I don't feel like this is serving the situation or myself. I feel like I put in a lot of wasted effort. It's just, I technically got done what I wanted to get done, but it doesn't seem like it mattered. It just doesn't seem like it pulled things together the way I wanted it to. I'm putting forth the effort and I'm technically getting it, but I'm not enjoying it, so I'm going to stop doing it that way. The energy here is fairly good, though. I don't see any disruption. I feel like I've just come to this point where I'm like, what I was doing is not working. It's not bringing me where I want to be, where there was too involved or not enough involved. It seems like it's one or the other, either over involved or too little involved. It's just however you were doing it, it's like, all right, we're going to do it the other way now. Because it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. It seems very simple. And the energy is good. The energy is good. You got very positive energy around you. So it doesn't have to mean that everybody's your buddy. I don't mean that. But there's definitely some supporters of like whatever you're doing here. There seems to be supporters or support for you to do it your way. It seems like there's a lot of optimism. Other people seem to be thinking this is a good idea and this could bring a lot better things in, whether it be more involved or less involved. I don't know. It's one or the other. It really feels that way. That faraway places is kind of like also acknowledging that this is going to take a while to really understand if this is actually working. I would say at least 3 months. For some of you, maybe up to a year before you really see if this is really starting to pan out the way you want it to. So you seem to be changing. You're doing it a different way. I have a feeling there's going to be people in the comments saying, well, this happened a year ago and this is how it turned out. The energy is definitely compatible, but I also feel like there are some nerves with this. Am I going to do this and I'm putting in all this effort and then I get stuck in something that I didn't really want? There is some nerves like that. Is this going to hold you back? It could sink the ship if you let it, but I feel like it's at this point here. I feel like you're either in or you're out. I feel like I'm avoiding certain things that are not working, and that's fine. I'm doing long-term decisions here. It's not haphazard what you're doing. It's very dedicated. It's very thought out. It may be the more boring road, but I feel like you've made your decision on what you want to do. You're ironing out the problems. And it's the more safe route is what I'm getting, the more dependable route. I don't feel like I'm like taking many chances with this. I'm doing this a different way, and I'm doing it a different way for a reason, and I'm doing it like this makes sense to me. This is going to work. This is how I'm going to do it. It doesn't seem like I'm taking a lot of chances. It seems like the more like predictable version. And if you're doing that, if you're choosing the more predictable version, I feel like I want people to be able to do that. I want people to be able to predict what I'm going to do next. And that way there's no reason for them not to support me, because like, you know what I'm going to do next, so be in line with it. It's fine. I don't think you're upset about it, but I feel like if you're making it predictable, there's a real good reason you're doing that. You're purposely being predictable, purposefully. Can we get like a little bit more definition? I know this is a good thing for you, but can we get a little bit more definition? Queen of Cups and the Chariot. The Chariot's kind of coming in like that, but that's fine. The Queen of Cups can be very good with holding secrets. Also a very passionate investment into things. Does things with care. Looks out for those they care about. I'm getting... This is going to hit a point where I'm really going to question if this is working for other people. Okay. Whatever you're choosing, I feel like there's a point going forward. You're going to question if this is working for other people. Because there's a lot of support here, and I'm not looking to let people down that support me. But then I'm starting to wonder, like, is this really working for those people who have been supporting me? And it could cause this stagnant, like, it could stagnate the situation, kind of like, all right, I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, so maybe I should hold back for a minute. There's another version. Because I do see, like, you know, people who are good to you, you tend to be good to in return. And it makes sense. But they're also saying, like, you know, this is where, like, remember who you are and keep the situation moving. Make sure that you like what's going on and, you know, do what you got to do to keep it moving. In the sense of, like, try to keep the people you like happy as you feel necessary, but don't hold back. Don't let the situation stagnate. Keep moving forward. And just keep an eye on people. If they seem really upset, talk to them about it for a little bit. Like, all right, well, this is what I'm doing for right now. It might change again later. Let's keep going. For some reason, you might get overburdened with other people's opinions. I don't know why that's happening, but there's a reason for it if it happens. Keep it moving. Keep doing what you feel like is the right thing to do, but just keep it moving is the trick to this one. It could end up stagnating if you're not careful. There's something about other people's opinions, it weighing heavily, something like it kind of holding you back a little bit. Don't let it hold you back, but you'll keep an eye on it, but just keep forcing it forward. Maybe not as fast as you were before, whatever that means, but keep it moving and you will keep getting good things out of it. Just maybe make it, when I get with the wandering path, maybe instead of like if you were going at a straight shot before, make it like a little bit more curvy and up and down and whatever you need to do, little circles here and there, whatever you got to do, but keep it moving. Just make sure you keep it moving and you'll be okay. So like I keep even getting like for this situation, if even if you're moving kind of in circles every now and then or a figure eight pattern, and then you kind of keep it moving in the direction, you just let people think it's going in a figure eight or in a circle, and you just keep moving slowly but surely. Just make sure you keep moving that way. I feel like for those of you that's going to hit with, you're going to know what that means. So I'm going to let that be. Whatever this is, if you keep it moving, it will benefit everybody, including you. Ultimately, it will work out for the best. It doesn't mean everybody's going to accept that. Because some people like to complain just because they can complain. I'm sorry, but it's there. But overall, it does benefit everybody as much as it benefits you by keeping it moving. There's good cards over here. When we get to the other side of this, whatever this change is you're doing, it's going to lock in at some point. And I feel like you're going to like it better, and that's one of the reasons it's going to lock in. I don't know if it's the total reason, but it's one of the reasons. You're going to like it better. It's going to lock in. I feel like I'm not expecting it to lock in. I was just kind of like, well, I'm just going to try it and see how long I like it. I don't feel like I was expecting it to lock in, but it's going to lock in, and it's going to give you a lot more success. What is this one? Courage, action with passion. I keep getting success with this. It feels very much like success to me. It's going to lock in. I feel like it's going to lock in because you like it better, because it feels better, because it's getting you what you want. It does help other people, and it does work out for other people. Even if you have some complainers, sometimes I really swear, the reason some people get up in the morning is so they can complain. I swear, it's the motivator. I really do believe that. Once you get onto this other side of things and things have locked in, because I feel like they will, there's something else here. You're going to identify problems here. It's not like you didn't know about these problems. I just feel like I'm looking at these problems in a different way. What do you mean by that? So it's almost like saying, all right, before I know so-and-so was a complainer, but it's kind of like at this point, I'm just like, not only is so-and-so a complainer, they're setting problems up. They're not complaining about the problem. They are the problem. What they're complaining about, they created. They created it. Now they're complaining about what they created is what's going on here. I feel like I'm getting into some levels here. This reminds me of like working with people in management and then realizing that, oh, okay, wait a minute. They're not the best. They may be in that position and maybe somebody else thought they were a good choice, but they're not. It's kind of like one of those things when you realize like, just because somebody else thought they were a good person to hire doesn't mean they were actually a good person to hire. It kind of feels like that. It's kind of like, yeah, they're a little bumpy, bruisey, but I guess, somebody else thought they were a good choice, so I guess we'll see how it works, and then realizing, oh, wait a minute, no, they weren't a good choice. There will also be other people here where you're starting to realize they're a lot better than people think they are. And some people are treated like the scapegoat, and they're actually a good part of the situation. One of the reasons they're treated like the scapegoat is because they call out the problems, or they notice things, or they have access to things, and people want them discredited before they can actually cause a problem, something like that, even though they're a better piece than they're given credit for. You're going to start really seeing behind the curtain with a little bit more detail. It might be some of those things where I kind of knew that before, but after you get past and through this situation, you're going to have a lot more detail, and that's going to put you in a position to do other things. Okay, that seems to be where this one is ending. So I guess you have to get there before you know what other things you're going to do with that. But to me, this so far looks fairly good. So hopefully that was inspiring and helpful. Hopefully. If it hit, of course. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.